Is the LG C1 still worth it in 2023? I get this question a lot, and today I'll be answering this question. So smack a like on this video, subscribe and join this journey if you like this kind of content. And with that, let's get started. So everybody is pretty much focused on the LG OLED G3 this year. It's no doubt LG's biggest big creme de la creme moment that they're having right now, that they were able to get up to 1800 nits, which fantastic, we applaud you. However, that does have everybody wondering, what about the LG C3? You didn't really talk about that much at CES. Well, come to find out, more or less, it's pretty much like a C2 2.0. And the reason I say that is because the only thing they've really changed is an adjustment to the processing chip, but there's not a whole lot in the way of new features, and pretty much the experience is going to be very similar to what we had last year on the LG C2. Now this is relevant because if you remember when I did a review on the LG OLED C2, I mentioned that they had a reduction from OLED Motion Pro down to OLED Motion. In English, you had options before to change your black frame insertion technology, which gave you more motion fluidity and clarity. And now it's just basically fully automated as a toggle. I highly doubt that they're going to rectify that or bring that back. And so what that means is the C1 has that advantage still going into 2023, as we are in 2023 now. And now when these TVs launch, everybody's going to be trying to find the best value. There is no doubt if you find an LG C1, you still have the best deal on the market right now. And the reason for this is because it's producing a picture quality that once tested against the LG C2 surpassed it in a couple of areas, like OLED Motion Pro, for example. And then not only that, but again, it's still WOLED technology. Why overpay for something just because it's technically the newer version? I don't know. Everybody has their own reasons for why they want to buy. If you want to buy and just have the latest and greatest to say, hey, I own an LG C3, go for it. But if you can find a 65-inch or 55-inch or whatever you end up getting size-wise on a good deal, that is immediately the better option. And in 2023, it holds its own very well against quantum dot OLEDs. And one of my prior videos, as you guys saw, the WOLED technology, while totally limited and obviously QD OLED is better, still had moments where it could produce deeper, richer color than what we were expecting, and in some cases surpass what QD OLED was able to do and lower lit scenes. So that tells us that this is something that, even though we have new technology coming out, it's relatively future-proof already to some degree. Through the HDMI signaling override menu, I have a video on the channel showing you the difference between when you use BT2020 and when you don't use BT2020, and the vast difference that makes in terms of picture quality. And ultimately, that translates into future-proofing for you. Now, if you aren't currently a member, I offer a service here where I take those boring, dull, washed-out pictures and make them look better. And if that's your kind of thing and you want to see what your C1 can truly do, make sure you join and snag those settings for $5, which is a cup of coffee, and you'll see professional calibrator results for literally a cup of joe, which is fantastic because I'm telling you right now, many people say that it's the best picture they've ever seen in their entire life. And that is important to note, that this is something that has happened recently on my latest C1 settings that I released, because it tells you that even though we have quantum dot OLED arriving on the market and there's tons of hype for the new LG OLED Evo panels that are coming out, the C1 is still excellent and capable of blowing people's minds, truly giving them the best experience they've ever had. When that is the case, it is still totally worth it in 2021, and I highly recommend this product still to this day. I still think it has some of the best motion I've ever seen. I think beaten only by the LG G2, but the G2 is pricier and it doesn't come with a stand. That's going to come at an additional $150 to $200, which isn't necessarily worth it depending on your viewpoint on these things. That being said though, ultimately, this is just information to aid your buying conquest. So if I've helped you today, again, just smack a like on this video and subscribe if you like this content. And as always, I want to thank you guys so much for watching the #1 brand in honesty. Until the next video, the C1 is still awesome.